In this lesson, we will discuss the case of linear functions. What are linear functions? Well, of course, as the name suggests, linear functions have their graphs straight lines. Is that right? Okay, now let's take an example of such a function. Have you ever come across somebody coming and tell you, I'm going to do a charity walk. I will walk 1 kilometer if you give me $2. Have you ever come across that? I have a neighbor who does that almost every year. So for each kilometer she walks, I pay her $2. Can you write it as a function? Yes, y equal to 2x. Where x is the number of kilometers, y is the amount of dollar I pay. Is that right? Or f of x equal to 2x. How does the graph of this look like? When x equal to 0, y equal to 0, or f of x is 0, f of 1 equal to 2, is that right? F of 1 means when she walks 1 kilometer, I give her $2. F of 2 equal to 4, and so on. Let's plot the graph. F of 1 equal to 2, x equal to 1, y equal to 2. F of 2 equal to 4, x equal to 2, y equal to 4. F of 3 equal to 6, x equal to 3, y equal to 6. Now look at these points. They are all along a straight line. F of 4 equal to 8, and that is the graph of the function. Now this graph is a straight line, and so we call this a linear function. Now an equation that has a straight line graph is called a linear equation, or such a function is called a linear function. Now if you look at a linear function, you will see that the power of the variable, the power of x, will always be 1. It will be a first degree equation. I'm sure you understand these concepts. A linear equation or a linear function is a first degree function. The power of x is 1. Alright. So a first degree equation is a linear equation, and its graph is a straight line. Now, let's do this. Translate the graph of f of x equal to 2x to get the graph of g of x equal to 2x plus 3 and h of x equal to 2x minus 3. Now, how do we translate graphs? If you look here, there were two important information that we used to translate graphs, and those were h and k. You remember that concept? F of x minus h plus k. The role of the h is to translate the graph horizontally. Role of the k is to translate vertically. And here you also have an a. Now tell me, what is the difference between the graph of y equal to x? If this is the graph of y equal to x, this is the graph of y equal to 2x. That's the graph of y equal to 3x. And this is the graph of y equal to 1/2 x. So the role of that a, y equal to a times x minus h plus k. Now if you notice here, that h here is 0. No horizontal translation. This is your k. So what does this do? G of x equal to 2x plus 3. It will translate this graph vertically by 3 places. Similarly, h of x equal to 2x minus 3. It will translate the graph 3 places down. Is that right? Yes. There you got the graph of y equal to 2x plus 3, y equal to 2x minus 3. Now, to draw a straight line graph, if you know that the function is a linear function, that is a first degree function, and if you want to draw the graph of it, you don't need many points. you only need 2 points to draw a straight line graph. And those 2 points conveniently can be the x and y intercept. So in order to draw the graph of a linear function, you only need to find the x and y intercepts. Is that right? Now, let's look at the function f of x equal to negative 3 over 2x plus 6. Now, how would you plot the graph of this? You need to find the x and y intercept. Tell me, how do you find the x-intercept? Now, x-intercept is the point where the graph cuts the x-axis. And what is the value of the function along the x-axis? The value of the function along the x-axis is 0. Is that right? Any point along the x-axis corresponds to a function value of 0. In other words, another name for the x-axis is y equal to 0. That is the equation for the x-axis. So to find the x-intercept, you set the function equal to 0. Set negative 3 over 2x plus 6 equal to 0. So set the function equal to 0. Negative 3 over 2x plus 6 equal to 0. I'm sure you don't need my help to solve that equation. And that will give you x equal to 4. Is that right? Multiply every term by 2. That will give me negative 3x plus 12 equal to 0. And then divide by negative 3. That will give you x minus 4 equal to 0, or x equal to 4. So what is the x-intercept? X-intercept will be x equal to 4, y equal to 0. At the x-intercept, the function value is 0. So this is the x-intercept, 4, 0. Now mark that this is the x-intercept, 4, 0. And how do you find the y-intercept? The y-intercept occurs when x equal to 0. Along the y-axis, x equal to 0. So in the function, set x equal to 0, or find f of 0. What is f of 0 in this function? When x equal to 0, y equal to 6. So the y-intercept is 0, 6. X equal to 0, y equal to 6. And that is the point 0, 6. And what all now we need to do is to draw a line joining these 2 points, and that is the graph of the function. So it's very simple to draw the graph of a linear function. All right, let's now review the concept of slope of a graph. You have done this all in elementary algebra onwards. So this is all a review, but a concept that you must be very, very familiar with. Let's take the case of our function we developed earlier, y equal to 2x. That the little girl walks for a kilometer, she collects $2. Well, when you walk 2 kilometers, you collect $4. The number of kilometers she walks is the input or the independent variable x, and the amount of dollars she collects is y, the output. When x equal to 2, then y equal to 4. That is x1 equal to 2, then y1 equal to 4. Let's call it the first case. When she walks 2 kilometers, I give her $4. All right, we will write it like this: x1, y1 equal to 2, 4. That's an ordered pair describing that function. Now, next she decides to walk 4 kilometers. So this time she walks 4 kilometers. How much does she collect? $8. Now, that means when x2 equal to 4, y2 equal to 8. And what is the corresponding ordered pair? x2, y2 is 4, 8. All right. So we said if x represents the input values for the equation, then y represents the output values. Now tell me, what does x2 minus x1 represent? Now, first she said she's going to walk 2 kilometers. Well, she changed her mind. She walked 4 kilometers. So x2 minus x1 represents the change in the input. Is that right? Yes, it represents the change in the input value. Now, then what does y2 minus y1 represent? When the input changes, the output also changes. So y2 minus y1 is the change in the output when the input changed by this quantity. So when the input changed by a quantity x2 minus x1, the output changed by a corresponding quantity y2 minus y1. Now in this particular case, x2 minus x1 is 4 minus 2, that is 2. And y2 minus y1 is 8 minus 4, that is 4. Can you interpret it? What does actually mean in this case? Instead of walking 2 kilometers, she decided to walk 4 kilometers. That means she walked 2 more kilometers. When she walked 2 more kilometers, she collected 4 more dollars. When the input changed by 2 units, the output changed by 4 units. You see, in algebra and calculus, the change in the input and the change in the output are always very important, and we relate them. Very important to relate them. So when the input changed by 2 kilometers, the output changed by $4. That's right. Now, when the input changes by 1 unit, you see, when the input changed by 2 units, the output changed by 4 units. Therefore, if the input changed by 1 unit, how much does the output change? Can you give it to me as a mathematical equation? Well, the change in the output when the input changes by 1 unit is 4 over 2, because 4 units is the change in the output when the input changed by 2 units. Therefore, the change in the output for a change in the input to be 1 unit is 4 over 2, that is 2. Now, what does that 2 represent? The 2 represents the change in the output each time the input changes by 1 unit. Every time she decides to walk 1 more kilometer, she will collect 2 more dollars. That's the meaning of that. So, the change in the output when the input changes by 1 unit is called the rate of change. You see, in the case of the function that we have been talking about earlier, y equal to 7.5x. That is, you work for 1 hour, you take home $7.5. You work 10 hours, you take home $75. Now, what is the rate of change there? What is the meaning of rate of change? Every time x changes by 1 unit, how much does y change? That is the rate of change. Every time you put in 1 more hour of work, you take home $7.5 more. You see that? That's the rate of change. In this case, every time the girl walks 1 more kilometer, she takes $2, 2 more dollars. So that is called the rate of change of the output with respect to the input. When the input changes by 1 unit, the output changes by how much? That is the rate of change of the output with respect to the input. And we write it like this. Rate of change is change in output divided by the change in the input. Now, the rate of change of a function is called the slope of the graph of that function. In fact, when you measure the slope of the graph of a function, what you're measuring is the rate of change of that function. When the input changes by 1 unit, how much does the output change? That is what the slope actually measures. So change in output divided by the change in input is called the rate of change of the output with respect to the input. Now, in this case, y2 minus y1 is the change in the output. x2 minus x1 is the change in the input. And so we call this the rate of change of y with respect to x. This is the change in y, and this is the change in x. So the change in y divided by the change in x is the rate of change of y with respect to x. And in the example we developed, y2 minus y1 is 8 minus 4. x2 minus x1 is 4 minus 2. And that is 4 over 2. That is equal to 2. So again, what is the significance of this 2? Every time the input changes by 1 unit, the output will change by 2 units. That's the meaning of that. All right. So the slope of the graph of a function represents the rate of change of the function value with respect to the input. What is the meaning with respect to the input? When the input changes, how much does the output change? That's what it means. So if x1, y1 is a point on the graph of the equation, and x2, y2 is another point on the graph, then what is an equation for the slope? This is actually the equation for the slope. Change in the output divided by change in the input. And we represent it like this. M equal to, we represent slope by the lowercase m. M equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right? Now, point slope form of the equation of a line. Now, the linear equation that we talk about represents a line. Now, how do we write the equation of a line in this form? Point slope. In other words, you have a point on the line and we know the slope of the line. We can write the equation of that line. The definition of the slope of a line now leads us to write an equation of the line. Now, what is the definition of the slope? Slope equal to change in the value of y, y2 minus y1, divided by change in the value of the input, x2 minus x1. Now, multiply both sides of this equation by x2 minus x1, or simply cross-multiply. Cross-multiply. What you get? M times x2 minus x1 equal to y2 minus y1. M times x2 minus x1 is y2 minus y1. Now, rewrite this equation. Well, write this on the left. In other words, exchange the left and the right. You get y2 minus y1 equal to m times x2 minus x1. Now, we now replace x2, y2 by any general point xy. You see, when you write the equation of a line, that equation doesn't contain any specific x1, y1, x2, y2. x1, y1, x2, y2 are specific points. The equation of a line contains general points xy. So what we're going to do is replace the x2, y2 by the general point xy, which can be any value for x and y. So it will then become, remember, this y2 will become y and the x2 will become x. So look at the equation now. The equation now becomes y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Now, this is called the point slope form of the equation of a line. So, to write the equation of a line in the point slope form, we need a point x1, y1, and we need the slope m of the line. Okay. Now, the point slope form of the equation can be used to write another form of the equation of a straight line. That is, we can use the y-intercept. Well, y-intercept is a point. In other words, if x1, y1 is the y-intercept, tell me, what is the y-intercept called? At the y-intercept, x equal to 0. Is that right? Yes. So find the equation of a line that has slope m and y-intercept 0b. 0b, in other words, x equal to 0, y equal to b. B can be any number. B equal to 2 means that is where the line cut the y-axis. Alright, so we have the slope m and the point is 0b. We have the slope and we have the point. What is the equation of a line that has a slope m and passes through a point x1, y1? Well, we've got y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. And in this case, our x1 equal to 0 and y1 equal to b. This is the specific point that's on the line. So what all we need to do is replace our x1 by 0 and y1 by b, and what do you get? Y minus b equal to m times x minus 0, or y minus b equal to mx, and move that negative b to the right side, we get y equal to mx plus b. And what do you call this equation? This equation is called the slope-intercept form, because b is the y-intercept. But you should notice that this equation and the point slope form are actually one and the same equation. The only difference is the point we used here is a specific point, which is the y-intercept, 0b. Alright? The slope-intercept form of the equation. The slope of the graph of y equal to 2x is 2. Now how do you know that? That the slope of y equal to 2x is 2? Well, you should know it by many ways. First of all, slope is a measure of the rate of change. When x changes by 1, y will change by 2 units. That's what y equal to 2x means. When x equal to 1, y equal to 2. X equal to 2, y equal to 4. When x changes by 1 unit, y will change by 2 units. So y equal to 2x, the slope is 2. What is the slope of the graph of the line y equal to 5x? Will be 5. Each time x changes by 1 unit, y will change by 5 units. So here we have the graph of y equal to 2x. Look at this. When x goes from 0 to 1, y changes by 2 units. When x goes from 0 to 2, y changes by 4. X equal to 1, y equal to 2, x equal to 2, y equal to 4, x equal to 3, y equal to 6. So you have the graph of y equal to 2x and its slope is 2. That's right. What is the slope of the graph of the equation y equal to 3x? Well, which way will the graph go? Will the graph go to the left like this, or well, will it go to the right like this or left like that? You notice that for each change in the x value, the change in the y value is greater now. The rate of change is 3. So the graph of y equal to 3x will be that way. When x equal to 1, y equal to 3. X equal to 2, y equal to 6, and so on. Okay. So when x changes by 1 unit, y changes by 3 units there. The slope of this graph is 3. Now, the slope of the graph of an equation of the form y equal to mx is m. In other words, that my equal to 7 over 2x. That 7 over 2 is the slope, the rate of change. So the coefficient of x gives the slope of the graph. Alright, let's use the information we developed so far to solve a small problem. Find the slope of the line that passes through points 2, 3, 5, 4. Then write the equation of this line in the slope-intercept form. So there are two things that you need to do. There are 2 points given. Use those 2 points to find the slope. Now, how do you find the slope? Remember, slope is the rate of change, the change in y divided by the change in x. In other words, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So the change in y, 4 minus 3, that is y2 minus y1, divided by the change in x, 5 minus 2, that will give you the slope. Very simple. So the first point is x1, y1 is 2, 3. x1 equal to 2, y1 equal to 3. And the second point, x2, y2 is 5, 4. We have x2 equal to 5, y2 equal to 4. And what is the equation for the slope? Change in y divided by the change in x. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And that is 4 minus 3 divided by 5 minus 2. That will be 1/3 is the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. Well, we found the slope. We need to do one more thing. What is that? Use the slope and one of these points to write an equation for the line. If you know the slope and one point, we can write the equation of that line. What is that equation? Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Is that right? Yes. So to write the equation, we can choose any of these 2 points. You can choose either this or this as the point we want. So we will choose x1, y1 equal to 2, 3, and the slope m equal to 1/3, and our equation is y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Well, we know our x1 equal to 2, our y1 equal to 3, and m equal to 1/3. So replace all those values. We get y minus y1 equal to 3, equal to m, the slope, times x minus x1. There you are. And that is y minus 3 equal to, distribute that 1/3. 1/3 x minus 2/3. And you can simplify that by, now when you write an equation, always the output must be on the left side, y equal to, and everything else must be on the right side. So you must solve for y. Means move the negative 3 to the right side. That gives you y equal to 1/3 x minus 2/3 plus 3. And now you simplify this. What is negative 2/3 plus 3? Well, I'm going to leave it for you to do that. Negative 2/3 plus 3 is plus 7/3. Well, what all you need to do is take 3 as the common denominator. Then your numerator will be negative 2 plus 9. And negative 2 plus 9 is 7 over 3. So y equal to 1/3 x plus 7 over 3 is the equation of the line that has this slope and passes through this point. Now, let me ask you something. Out of the 2 points, we chose this as the point. If we choose this point, 5, 4, will we get the same equation? I want you to try. In place of taking x1, y1 equal to 2, 3, take that as 5, 4 and work it out and see whether you get the same equation. All right, if you got it, tell me about it. Let's now do another problem. Find the slope of the line that passes through the points -3, 5 and 5, -3, and write the equation in the slope-intercept form. Well, this is the same thing we did previously, so I'm going to go through that quickly. Now, x1, y1 is -3, 5, that's the first point. x2, y2, that means your x1 is -3, y1 is 5. x2, y2 is 5, -3, which means your x2 is 5, y2 is -3. So the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that will be y2, that is -3 minus 5 over x2 minus x1. What's that? 5 minus -3. Watch those signs. And that will be -3 minus 5 is -8. 5 minus -3 is 5 plus 3. And that will be -8 over 8, that is -1. So we have the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points is -1. We have now to take the point. You can take any of these points, -3, 5 or 5, -3. I have chosen -3, 5. And the slope is -1. What is the equation in the form slope-intercept form? You must be able to tell me that now. Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. There you are. That is y minus y1. Watch here, our y1 is 5. So y minus 5 is m -1 times x minus x1. Watch those signs. X minus -3. And that will be y minus 5 is -1 times x minus -3 is x plus 3. And now distribute the -1. That will be -x plus 3. So we got y equal to -x minus 3 and move this -5 to the right. That becomes plus 5. You get y equal to -x plus 2 is the equation of that line. You must practice these kind of questions on your own. But I know this is not much of a deal for pre-calculus level. Now, another one which is of the same type, so I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on it. I want you to look at this, take time and do this on your own. On a second thought, I will quickly go through it with you. x1, y1 is 2, -4. That means x1 equal to 2, y1 equal to -4. x2, y2 is -5, -3, which means x2 equal to -5, y2 equal to -3. Well, the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is -3 minus -4. Is that right? -3 minus -4 over -5 minus 2. And that will be -3 plus 4 divided by -7. What's that equal to? That's -1 over 7. Alright, we got the slope as -1 over 7. And we can use that point 2, -4 and put them all in the equation. What's the equation in the slope-intercept form? Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Right? So y minus y1, y1 is -4. Y minus -4 is -1 over 7 m times x minus x1. x1 is 2. Now, you've got to simplify it. Alright? Distribute the -1 over 7. -1 over 7 times x is -1 over 7x. -1 over 7 times -2 is +2 over 7. And now, move this 4 from the left to the right. You get this. y equal to negative 1 over 7x plus 2 over 7 minus 4. And can you simplify this? You see, I have seen some of you at least have trouble with fractions. This is a mental sum. You can actually do it like this. When 7 becomes the common denominator, 7 will multiply with 4. 7 times 4 is 28. So the numerator will be 2 minus 28 and the denominator is 7. So that will be 2 minus 28 over 7, and that will be y equal to negative 1 over 7x minus 26 over 7, and that is the equation of the line that passes through those 2 points. Alright. Another one. Find the slope and y-intercept of the graph where points A and B are on the graph. Point A and point B are on this graph. You need to find the slope and y-intercept, and then write the equation of the line in the slope-intercept form. Well, the y-intercept is right here. What's that y-intercept? X equal to 0, y equal to 3. And what are the coordinates of point A? Point A correspond to x equal to 6, y equal to negative 3. That's your point A. And that means x1 equal to 6, y1 equal to negative 3. How about point B? Point B is x negative 3, y corresponds to 6. That means x1 equal to negative 3, x2 equal to negative 3, y2 equal to 6. Alright, let's find the slope. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 6 minus negative 3 over negative 3 minus 6. There you are. 6 minus negative 3 over negative 3 minus 6. That is 6 plus 3 over negative 9. And that is negative 1. And so, the slope-intercept form, we can write it in the y-intercept is actually 0, 3. That means b equal to 3. This is our b equal to 3. Now, what is the equation, the slope-intercept form of the equation? The slope-intercept form. Y equal to mx plus b is the slope-intercept form. So, y equal to mx plus b, we have m equal to negative 1, b equal to 3. So, our equation is y equal to negative x plus 3. I hope you understand by now that if the slope of an equation is positive, it is an increasing function. The value increases from left to right. If the slope is negative, it is a decreasing function. The negative slope means the rate of change is negative, means as x increases, y decreases. That's the meaning of a negative slope. As the input increases, the output decreases. Another one. Find the slope of the line where the points A and B are on the line and write the equation of the line. Alright, let's take the point A. Point A is x equal to negative 1, y equal to negative 3. That means x1 equal to negative 1, y1 equal to negative 3. Point B is x equal to 8, y equal to 2. Is that right? That means x2 equal to 8, y2 equal to 2. Let's find the slope. y2 minus y1, that is 2 minus negative 3, divided by x2 minus x1, 8 minus negative 1. You need to do it slowly, carefully, taking care of the sign. That will be y2 minus y1, 2 minus negative 3, over x2 minus x1, 8 minus negative 1. 2 minus negative 3 is 2 plus 3. 8 minus negative 1 is 8 plus 1. That is 5 over 9. Now, we can now write the equation of this line choosing the point x1, y1, we can choose this point. x1 is -1, y1 is -3, and the slope is 5/9. But this time, we got to use the point slope form because we don't have the y-intercept. So, what is the point slope form of the equation? Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1, right? All right, so y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. Y minus y1, y1 is -3, y minus y1 equal to m, the slope, times x minus x1, x1 is -1. Simplify that, that will be y plus 3 equal to 5/9 x plus 1. Distribute the 5/9, that will be 5/9x plus 5/9. And what is the next step? Move that positive 3 from the left to the right. You get y equal to 5/x plus 5/9 minus 3. That positive 3 on the left is moved to the right. And now you need to simplify this. What is 5/9 minus 3? How? Take 9 as the common denominator. The 9 will multiply by 3, giving you 27. The numerator will be 5 minus 27, and the denominator will be 9. And 5 minus 27 is -22. So the answer is y equal to 5/9x minus 22/9. Now, remember, I'm going through this very quickly. Now, it means each time you listen to this, you press pause on the video and do this on your own. Write down these steps on your own and make sure that you understand and you can do them. Listening to me will not actually make you learn. Now, only when you write them down, you learn. All right? General form of the equation of a straight line. Now, we actually saw two forms of the equation. Which are the two forms? The slope point form, that is y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Then the slope intercept form, y equal to mx plus b. They are both the same equation actually. Only thing is, in the slope intercept form, we use the y-intercept as the specified point. So what is the general form of the equation? That is a different way of writing the equation. The general form is ax plus by equal to c. In fact, both those equations can be written in this form. Ax plus by equal to c. Now, for example, now let's take the slope intercept form, something like this. Y equal to 3x plus 2. Now, if you take that 3x to the left side and write it like this, -3x plus y equal to 2, this becomes the general form where -3 is your A and y is 1y is your B and 2 is your C. You see? That means the forms of the equation that we have been talking about so far, all forms can be written in the form ax plus by equal to c. See, y equal to 3x plus 2 is the same as -3x plus y equal to 2, where -3 is your A, positive 1, y means 1y, positive 1 is your B, and C is 2. Okay, having done that, let's go back and talk more about this. Alright, write the equation -3x plus y equal to 6 in the slope-intercept form. Now, how do you write that? The slope-intercept form is y equal to mx plus b. In other words, if you can solve this equation for y, it will then become y equal to mx plus b form. That's right. So, let's do that now. So to write the equation in the slope-intercept form, we simply solve for y in this equation. And that's a very simple process, is that right? So negative 3x plus y equal to 6. What all we need to do is move the negative 3x to the right. And that becomes y equal to 3x plus 6. That tells me that the slope of the graph of this line is 3 and y-intercept is 0, 6. Those are the two information you get from there. So the slope m equal to 3 and the y-intercept is 0, 6. Another one. Write the equation 60x minus 30y equal to plus 60 in the slope-intercept form. Find its slope and y-intercept. Same kind of question. We need to write the equation in the slope-intercept form. Means y equal to mx plus b. Solve for y. Alright, how do we solve that equation for y? How do you solve this equation for y? First of all, move negative 60x to the right and negative 30y to the left. Put those terms in the appropriate place they belong to. You see, negative 30y must go to the left. It will become positive 30y. Negative 60x should come to the right. It will become positive 60x. So you got 30y equal to 60x plus 60. And now you need to have y alone here. What will you do? Divide throughout by 30. And that will be 30y divided by 30 is y. 60x divided by 30 is 2x. And 60 divided by 30 is 2. You get y equal to 2x plus 2. The slope is 2. And the y-intercept is... Now I know most of you are tempted to say the y-intercept is 2. No. The y-intercept is an ordered pair. You must always say the y-intercept is the point 0, 2. X equal to 0, y equal to 2. So the slope m equal to 2 and the y-intercept is 0, 2. What is the equation of a horizontal line? What is a horizontal line? A horizontal line. Well, a horizontal line is a line along which the value of the output is always a constant. The value of the output will not change. For any input you can think of, the output will be a constant. For example, consider the equation, the line y equal to 3. What does the graph look like? No matter what the input is, no matter what the value of x is, y, the output is always 3. In other words, look at some of the ordered pairs. 2, 3, 7, 3, 10, 3. You can choose any input. The output will be 3. That's what is meant by y equal to 3. So, for any input, the output will be 3. There you go. For any input, the output will be 3. You got input 2, output 3. Input 7, output 3. Input 10, output 3. All these points are on the same horizontal line. And there you have that horizontal line. So the line that passes through these points is a horizontal line. Tell me, what is the slope of a horizontal line? Well, knowing that slope is the rate of change of the output with respect to the input. The change in the output divided by the change in the input. Here, if you notice, there is no change in the output. So a change in the output is 0. That means the slope of a horizontal line is 0. That's right. There you go. The slope of a horizontal line is always 0. How about a vertical line? What is the slope of a vertical line? I'm going to leave it for you to think about it. All right. So the equation of a horizontal line is of the form y equal to k or y equal to b. You can use any. Y equal to b correspond to y equal to mx plus b. When m equal to 0, the equation is y equal to b. So it is called a constant function. F of x equal to k or f of x equal to b is called a constant function. How about the equation of a vertical line? How would you write the equation of a vertical line? Well, what is the graph of x equal to 3? X equal to 3. It means it's a line that passes through x equal to 3. That means if you now go along that line, anywhere on that line, x equal to 3. That means y can change, but x will always be the same. It is a vertical line. So no matter what y the output is, the input is always 3. That means you can change the input will always be 3, and for the same input you have numerous outputs along the vertical line. Let's look at some ordered pairs. 3, 2, 3, 7, 3, 9, and so on are some ordered pairs. Let's mark them. 3, 2, 3, 7, 3, 9. They are all ordered pairs for that equation, x equal to 3. And that is a vertical line. And for a vertical line, the input is the same all over. The outputs will be different. All right, what is the slope of a vertical line? Can you think of it? Well, the slope of a line is change in the output divided by the change in the input. Now here, the change in the input is 0. The input doesn't change. That means 0 comes in the denominator. Is that right? x2 minus x1 equal to 0. And what is the value of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 when this x2 minus x1 is 0? Well, 0 on the denominator makes undefined. What is the meaning that is undefined? Do you know what it actually means? Let me see if I can explain it to you. Now, for example, what is the value of 5 divided by 0.1? 5 divided by 0.1 is 50. What is the value of 5 divided by 0.01? That is 500. Is that right? Yes. What is the value of 5 divided by 0.000001? That will be 5 followed by, I think, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will be very large. Now, what is happening here is, as the denominator becomes very, very small, very small means getting closer and closer to 0, the value of the quantity becomes very, very high. So, when the denominator becomes very small, the value of the quantity becomes very high. That means when the change in the x is very small, the change in the y there is very large. That means ultimately, when this x2 minus x1 becomes 0, the value of this will be so large we will not be able to think about it. We won't be able to fathom it. That's why we say 0 on the denominator makes m undefined, because we don't know what it is. So we call it undefined. We say that is not allowed because we don't know what it is. So that concept must be clear to you. All right? Okay, let's now look at this. The slope of a vertical line is undefined, and the equation of a vertical line is of the form x equal to h. Now, you see how I bring it, the k and the h in here? You remember the form of shift of a graph, f of x minus h plus k. H is the horizontal shift, k is the vertical shift. So we use the equation for a horizontal line as y equal to k, f of x equal to k, and the equation of a vertical line is x equal to h. All right. Find the slope of the line that passes through the points 2, 3 and 2, negative 3. All right. You can see the x values are the same. Is that right? That's right. So x1, y1 is 2, 3. There you have x1, y1, and x2, y2 is 2, negative 3. And there you have 2, negative 3. And the line that passes through these 2 points is a vertical line. And what is the slope of such a line? The slope of that line is undefined. All right. Let's now look at an interpretation of the slope. Now, by now you know what actually slope means. Slope is a measure of the rate of change of the function value with respect to the input. That's how you must understand the slope. Let's look at the graph of y equal to 2x. This is the graph of y equal to 2x. And we talked about 2, 4 and 4, 8 are ordered pair. That's 2, 4, that's 4, 8. Now, suppose you are at 2, 4 and you have walked 2 more kilometers. Look at that. You are at 2, 4, you walked 2 more kilometers, x increases by 2. Now, y now goes from 4 to 8. So if this is the increase in x, that is the increase in y. Now, the slope of the line is y2 minus y1. This is y2 minus y1, and this is x2 minus x1. And there's an easy way that is normally being talked about. Remember, that slope is rise divided by walk. In other words, the rise of 8 minus 4 number of dollars correspond to a walk of 2 kilometers. So rise divided by walk. Some people call it rise divided by run. It doesn't matter how you call it, as long as you understand the concept. Rise divided by. Now, a walk of 2 kilometers results in a rise of $4. That's the meaning of the slope, actually. Now, obtain the slope of the graph shown on the diagram and write its equation in the general form. All right, there is the 2 points there and the graph that is connecting those 2 points. What are those 2 points? Point number 1 is negative 5, negative 1. Is that right? X equal to negative 5, y equal to negative 1. And this point is x equal to 0, y equal to negative 5. So 2 points on the slope are 0, negative 5, and negative 5, negative 1. Therefore, the slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So that would be negative 1 minus negative 5 divided by negative 5 minus 0. And that will be negative 1 plus 5 over negative 5. That is negative 4/5. That is the slope of this line. You can see it's negative. Now, using the point 0, negative 5, we can write the point slope form. Ultimately, we want the equation in the general form. But to start with, we will write the equation using the point slope form. In other words, y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. This is our x1, y1. So y minus y1, y minus negative 5 is m, the slope, times x minus x1. Simplify that, it becomes y plus 5 equal to negative 4/5 x. Alright, multiply every term by 5 to get rid of that 5 from the denominator. What does that give you? It'll be 5y plus 25 equal to negative 4x. But we got to write it in the general form. What is the general form? ax plus by equal to 0. So we need to take that negative 4x to the left and bring that 25 to the right. And that will be negative 4x will go to the left, become positive 4x, plus 5y equal to 25 comes to the right, becomes negative 25. And that is the general form of the equation of this line. Okay, another one. Find the x-intercept, y-intercept, and the slope of the graph shown and write its equation in the general form. X-intercept. What is the x-intercept? Over here. X-intercept is negative 7, 0. Is that right? Y-intercept is this, which is 0, 4. So x-intercept is negative 7, 0. Y-intercept is 0, 4. And you can actually use those two to find the slope because they are 2 points. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is 4, y1 is 0. 4 minus 0 divided by x2 minus x1 is 0 minus negative 7. And that will be 4 over 7 is the slope of that line. And now write the slope-intercept form. Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Choose any of these points. Or we can write the y-intercept form because we have the y-intercept. Because of the y-intercept, we can write it in the form y equal to mx plus b, simpler than the other. So y equal to mx plus b, where m is 4 over 7, b is 4. b is 4. So when the y-intercept is 0, 4, b equal to 4. So y equal to 4 over 7x plus 4. What next? We need to bring it down to the general form. ax plus by equal to c. Multiply every term by 7. That will be 7y equal to 4x plus 28. Multiply this by 7, this by 7, and this by 7. And next, move the 4x to the left. And that will give you negative 4x plus 7y equal to 28, which is the same as 4x minus 7y equal to negative 28. Is that right? I just said move the 4x to the left. It will become negative 4x. Negative 4x plus 7y equal to 28 is the same as 4x minus 7y equal to negative 28. Can you understand that? Just multiply every term by negative 1. Okay, well, how about the next one? Find the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and graph the equation y over 3 plus x over 5 equal to 1. Well, we need to find the x-intercept. How do you find the x-intercept? Now, it's very simple. When you want to find the x-intercept is a point on the x-axis where y equal to 0. So to find the x-intercept, set y equal to 0. To find the y-intercept, set x equal to 0. Very simple. So the x-intercept is 5, 0. Is it? When y equal to 0, we get x over 5 equal to 1 or x equal to 5. So the x-intercept is 5, 0. How about the y-intercept? When x equal to 0, y equal to 3 or 3, 0 is the y-intercept. Now, x-intercept is 5, 0. There you are. And the y-intercept is 3, 0. And therefore, this is the graph of that equation. All right? We will now look at parallel lines. What are parallel lines? Let's look at the graph of y equal to 2x compared to the graph of y equal to 2x plus 5. This is the graph of y equal to 2x. And y equal to 2x plus 5 is obtained by translating it 5 places up. Now, that's the graph of y equal to 2x plus 5. You can see there are two parallel lines. Now, what is the characteristic of parallel lines? Now, y equal to 2x has a y-intercept of 0, 0. And y equal to 2x plus 5 has a y-intercept of 0, 5. Now, y-intercept should be written as an ordered pair. Remember that always. These two lines are parallel to each other. Now, therefore, if you look here, parallel lines have the same slope. Is that right? And how does the graph of y equal to 2x minus 5 look? This is the graph of y equal to 2x minus 5. They're all parallel. That means they all have the same slope. That is the characteristic of parallel lines. Let's look at the graph of y equal to negative 2x and y equal to negative 2x plus 4. Now remember, if y equal to 2x is an increasing graph, y equal to negative 2x will be a decreasing graph. Slope negative 2 means as x increases, y decreases. So this is the graph of y equal to negative 2x. What is the graph of y equal to negative 2x plus 4? That will be translated 4 units up. Y equal to negative 2x plus 4. The two lines have the same slope and they are parallel to each other. Lines with the same slopes are always parallel. Now, how does the graph of y equal to negative 2x minus 6 look? That negative 2x plus 4 is this. Negative 2x minus 6 will be here. Translated 6 places down. And you can see they are all parallel. How about perpendicular lines? When do two lines become perpendicular? Now, let's compare the graph of y equal to 2x with the graph of y equal to negative 1/2 x. Now, try and draw these two graphs in your calculator. Y equal to 2x, y equal to negative 1/2 x. Now, this is the graph of y equal to 2x. The graph of y equal to negative 1/2 x is this. Now, look at this. They are actually perpendicular to each other. Now, if you look at the slopes of the two perpendicular lines, what can you say about the slopes? The slope of the first line is 2. the slope of the second line is negative 1/2. That is, you take the negative reciprocal of the slope of this, negative 1/2. So, tell me, if y equal to 3x, what will be the line that is perpendicular to y equal to 3x? It will be y equal to negative 1/3 x. That's right. So, if you now multiply the slope of these two lines, 2 times negative 1/2 is negative 1. This is an important characteristic of perpendicular lines. If you multiply the slopes of two perpendicular lines, it will always give you negative 1. Or the slope of one line will be the negative reciprocal of the slope of the other. If you multiply the two slopes, it will always give you negative 1. And this is true for all perpendicular lines. In other words, if M1 and M2 are the slopes of the two lines that are perpendicular, then M1 times M2 will be negative 1. Or M2 will be equal to negative reciprocal of M1. M2 equal to negative 1 over M1. Okay, let's do a problem. Write the equation of the line that passes through negative 2, negative 7 and parallel to the line y equal to negative 5x plus 4, and write the equation in the general form. Well, the important information you must look for here, we want to write the equation of a line that is parallel to this line, and this line has a slope negative 5, and any line parallel to that line will also have a slope negative 5. That means the line whose equation we want has a slope of negative 5. That is the important information we have. So we know the slope, we know the point, we can now use the slope point form to write the equation. To write the equation of a line, we need its slope and a point on it. Now, the slope of the given line, negative 5x plus 4, is negative 5. But since parallel lines have the same slope, the slope of the line that we are looking for is also negative 5. And that line passes through negative 2, negative 7. So, we have now slope we know is negative 5. x1, y1 is negative 2, negative 7. And let's write the point slope form. What is the equation of the line in the point slope form? Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Y minus y1 is negative 7. Y minus negative 7 is slope times x minus x1. And simplify that, y plus 7 is negative 5 times x plus 2. And distribute, that will be negative 5x minus 10. And now we need to write the equation in the general form. ax plus by equal to 0. That means this negative 5x must go to the left and take this 7 to the right. It will become y equal to, well, let's first rewrite this. Y equal to negative 5x minus 10 minus 7. We first move that 7 to the right. And that, now you move the negative 5x to the left. It will become negative 5x goes to the left, become positive 5x. Positive 5x plus y equal to negative 10 minus 7 is negative 17. That is the equation of the line in the general form. Another one. Write the equation of the line that passes through negative 4, 2 and perpendicular to the line y equal to 1/3 x plus 7, and write the equation in the general form. Now, in this case, we want to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to this line. And we know the slope of that line. The slope of this line is 1/3. And therefore, what is the slope of the equation that will be perpendicular to this line? The slope will be negative reciprocal of this. If the slope of this is 1/3, the slope of the perpendicular line will be -3. Is that right? -3. All right. So the slope of the line that is given to us is 1/3 x plus 7 is 1/3. And the line that we want to write the equation is given to be perpendicular to this. Therefore, the slope of the line that we require is the negative reciprocal of 1/3. And the negative reciprocal of 1/3 is -3. So we know the slope of the line that we want to write the equation of is m equal to -3. And it passes through -4 too. And so we will now write the equation y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. And our y1 is 2, x1 is -4. So let's use those values. Y minus y1, y1 is 2, equal to -3, the slope is -3, times x minus x1, x1 is -4. That would be y minus 2 equal to -3 times x minus -4 becomes x plus 4. Now distribute, that would be -3x minus 12. And now move this -2 from the left to right. And that gives you y equal to -3x minus 12 plus 2. What's the next step? We want ax plus by equal to 0. So take the -3x to the left. You get 3x plus y equal to -10. And that is the equation of the line that we require. This line is perpendicular to this line. Alright, we have now covered a number of skills on linear equations, and I want you to now do all the homework and get back to me if you need any help.